Hey, Domain Dave from cheapwinefinder.com. And if you are into Prosecco, this might be a podcast you're interested in because there's some cool things happening. Maybe you don't think it's cool, but I kind of do. What we have is a Trader Joe's $6.99 wine. Conte Priuli Prosecco Rosé. Millimado, it's vintage 2020, extra dry. It's kind of a new thing for Prosecco. They were always the Glera grape, which is a white grape, and it was made in the Prosecco region with the Charmat Method, and it was what it is every single time. You know, every producer put their old spin on it, but the Glera grape's very green. You can't make rosé out of it. And since rosé is now a worldwide phenomenon, they decided that if you make it a vintage, this is a 2020, DOC only, no DOCG, you can add 10 to 15% Pinot Nero. Nero is Pinot Noir. And you can have a rosé because you need the red grapes or the red wine to make your wine pink. So what this basically is, you know, a inexpensive Prosecco is non-vintage, which means they blend, you know, from different vintages to make, you know, the current model, and it's blended so every year is kind of the same, so you know what you're getting. There's a house style. They want it to be the same year after year, so you kind of get a liking to it and know what to expect. And I'm going to take a sip because I know what to expect. I wrote the review. But vintage dated, that's what it is. It's that year, and it's got that Pinot added to it, which is going to give it a little bit more roundness. And my favorite champagne is Pinot Noir based, or at least partly, mostly Pinot, you know, mostly Pinot Meunier, maybe some Chardonnay. And, you know, that was one thing that Prosecco never could give you. And now it does. It turns out like I like my bubbly with some Pinot Noir in it, or Pinot Nero here. And here's another thing about this. This is $6.99 at Trader Joe's. It's made by a large Italian producer who I think makes a lot of different wines under different labels. This $6.99 for Trader Joe's Prosecco Rosé Vintage is for sale at the equivalent of $16 at Marks & Spencer in London. Now, I don't know how the wines sell in London, if it's an expensive place for wine. I don't think it is. But that's almost $10 more than what we're getting for it here. It's about the same price, like $15 in Ireland. It just so happens that we're getting $9 or $10 knocked off the price because it's Trader Joe's. I mean, the last wine we did was a Pinot Noir from Monterey and Aldi that was selling for $24 in Canada and Denmark. So there's some weird things happening with these store brands that you really can't ignore. I mean, a $16 Prosecco is, it's a step above the store brands, even though the store brands for Prosecco are good. You know, the average Prosecco is a nice drinking wine. I'm going to take another sip. So this isn't, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes you see $6.99. I know people that think they have to pay more money to get good wine. And no, you need to taste the wine and then decide. You know, there is no governing body that tastes wine and says, okay, this is a $100 wine, this is a $20 wine, this is a $6.99 wine. That does not happen. You got to make up your own mind. You know, you have to start drinking all the price ranges and figure that out for yourself. And the $6.99 Prosecco is pretty good. I mean, I probably would like it at $16. You know, not after I paid $6.99, I wouldn't like it. But, you know, if I was drinking it, it has this nice, it gives us some cherry flavors, maybe some stone fruit. It rounds the flavors up, puts a little harder edge on it. Doesn't make the, sometimes with Prosecco, the grapefruit can get a little spiky. No, it kind of calms and smooths everything out. It's extra dry, which means slightly sweet, but with Prosecco, there's so much acidity that it just balances it out. All it does is take some of the edge off the acidity. I mean, it improves the acidity. It doesn't so much make it sweet. So yeah, if you want a $16 Rosé Prosecco that you only want to pay $6.99 for, well, what's the name of it? Conte. Conte means Count Priuli. Who knows if there is a Count Priuli? It's got a nice label. It's pink. It's bubbly. It tastes great. I'm drinking it like a sip every 30 seconds kind of pace. And so there you go. That's me, Dave, cheapwinefighter.com or Domain Dave. And I'll be talking to everybody later. Adios. Keep it cheap. And bye-bye.